Welcome to the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent.
Steve, welcome back to Friday at 4. How are you?
Doing well, Chuck. How are you?
Yeah, it's been a wonderful week. Got a lot accomplished. Um, episode two of season two is about to be starting to film and get recorded. I'm excited.
Nice. Yeah, it's good when things come together. We all have our ups and downs. Some things work, some things don't. We learn, hopefully we learn from the past, hopefully. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But
Right.
yeah, but when it comes together and we have a good day, a good week, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't learn. We have to learn the hard way.
Yeah, we try not to talk about those times.
Yeah, right. But it happens. Yeah, we all think, we've both been there and I'm proud of you. You talk about it a lot, in your past business and you bring it up as a learning
Yeah.
for the learning experience, for our audience who listens, and hey, it is what it is, right?
That's why I bring it up. I'm not happy with it. I'm not proud of it, but I learned. And if I can use my stories, my reality to help somebody else to not make those same mistakes, then to me it's a win.
Yeah,
So I'm okay with that.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And same here, right? Nothing was perfect, from 2008. I
Mhm.
had a good plan set, divorce destroyed everything, but that's a life lesson right there, and I think we all have a life lesson through whether it's business or personal, it happens, right? Yeah.
Right. The key, where possible, and some things are out of our control, but where possible, don't make the same mistake twice where possible. Now, again, some things are out of our control. I get that. But where you have the opportunity to go left or go right, and left is repeat mistake, go right. you know,
I'm
just
going straight.
well, you could do. Then you hit the point of the split. Don't do that either.
Right. I'm going over, under, and through, man.
There you go.
Yeah, which is a great segue into this week's topic. I think I love this, and as I talked to you about it earlier, I
Hmm.
think it's a great topic this week. Something that I don't think we really covered this. Cash flow versus clout. Are you building a profitable business or just a popular one? You know?
It's a great topic.
Yeah.
We all have, well, I shouldn't say all, a lot of us have the desire and the goals to do something different out of the ordinary. So a lot of us spend huge amounts of time in the 9 to 5 job. Some of us are out there with our own businesses, and regardless of which way you go, that's okay. We're not saying yes or no. But a lot of us have that desire and goals to either do something in addition to or in place of what our full-time thing is.
Huh?
So in the ideal world, we would go out, do some research, maybe work at that particular new thing for a while, get to know if we really like it, want to do it, do we have the skills, the money, everything else to back it up, and then we maybe make the jump.
Huh?
But when you make the jump, now the real world hits because that could be your sole source of income.
Yeah.
Now, in doing that, there's a whole bunch of things that have to be considered. The location, potential salaries of a team to work with you if you can't do it alone,
Yeah.
insurances, utilities, inventory, you name it, it's all expenses of running a business. Now, the IRS, and I'm not working for the IRS, but I know this from experience, that you have a certain number of years to take that new venture and make a profit, or they can pretty much say, you can't take all your deductions anymore, you can't take a loss anymore, you're on your own, now pay the taxes. So, having said that, we start our new business, whatever that may be. What steps are we taking, again, individual or as a team, to show a profit at some point? Now, again, I'm not saying it's a day, a week, a month, but again, it's the IRS's within a couple of years. But what are we doing? What are you doing to turn around and make a profit? So, are you out there in the sales mode? Who are you contacting? How often? You taking notes? Do you follow up? What are you doing with potential customers to get your name out there?
Yeah.
Once your name is out there, then there's a whole branding issue. So people now see Q.A.C. team, which is on your right hand side or on the left side when I'm looking at the screen. People are, I know it's left, right, I get confused. But
Mirror image.
yeah, people see that Q.A.C. team logo and they identify what it stands for. They identify it with Chuck, what he does and the good work he does with food establishments to help turn them around with the ratings. So they're branding. So what are you doing to brand? Do you have the same image, the same colors, the same wording, the same type, font? It all makes a difference when you go LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever else you're using. If you go print somewhere instead of social media, regardless of what you're using, is it the same? Is it consistency? So
Right.
you're looking at the branding. Um, are you going out to the right venues to get the biggest exposure? So are you looking at a one-to-one networking? Are you looking going to a networking group? Do you do presentations in front of larger groups of people? Can you do it on your own? Can you partner with somebody else? So these are all the things that will help get you out there. So if you don't, and again, you're not going to make all that money on day one, or at least statistically, you're not going to make all that money on day one. But the goal is again to try, because if after so many years you're not turning that profit, then the IRS calls it a hobby.
Right.
Now, I can tell you from experience, I'm going to kind of go off a little on a tangent and come back. When I left corporate in 2012 and I opened my business in 2013, I knew zero about opening and running a business. Zero. So when I started, my thought process, which was right and wrong, but my thought process on the right side was the more people that know me, know my name, know the company name, the more exposure I have, the more potential opportunity to have paying clients.
Mhm.
And that's the name of the game, obviously, is paying clients. That's called money, income, and all that stuff. So I went out very quickly and I joined multiple chambers of commerce, multiple networking groups, spent a ton of money on TV, I'm sorry, not TV, on radio ads, newspaper ads. And we're talking back in 2013. Ton, I'm talking into six figures because thankfully, I had money to start for reasons I don't want to talk about, but I had a lot of money going in. So on the right side, I did get a lot of exposure, and that's what you're supposed to do. The bad side of that is because I had no idea how to do that, I was throwing tons of money and getting a zero return.
Yeah.
6 months in, six figures in, I had zero business
Wow.
because I was in too many chambers of commerce. So where do you have your loyalty? Too many networking groups, where's your loyalty? Because you're meeting tons of people, but if you have a referral, who do you give it to? So
Yeah.
you may know five attorneys, just as the example, you may know five attorneys, but if you're not giving four of them business, because you only have one piece of business, so who do you give it to? So you give it to one of the five, the other four, they're not giving you anything because you haven't given them anything first.
Right.
So you're out there, you're spending money, you're spending time. And money is one of those again. It's the expense going against you turning a profit. So I ended up stopping most chambers, most networking groups. I stopped advertising in the papers and the magazines. I stopped doing all that stuff because it was costing me too much time, money, energy.
Yeah.
So I'm back to got my name out there, or I need to get my name out there. How? Because I'm no longer doing it. I don't have the money anymore. So I'm in trouble. So we have to get creative. Um, Turns out my business, and I have said this before, my business did not work for other reasons financially, but that was a challenge that I had. So I never had the opportunity to turn it around because the business went. But
Right.
bringing it back in, which venues, which social media, which whatever are you choosing and how are you choosing to get
Yeah.
your name out there?
That
Any,
ties back to our topic, right? You didn't have a clout issue. You had a cash flow
I had a
issue,
cash flow
you
issue,
know?
but
Yeah.
yeah, but even the cloud issue, who can you identify? Now, again, times have changed a lot in the last 12, 13 years, but,
Yeah.
and so if you are social media savvy, internet savvy, do some research, do some Google searches or ChatGPT or whatever you're going to use, and look for specific companies that you can market to. Look for specific people you can market to, because that will then allow you to use your time, effort, energy, money in a much more efficient way.
Yeah.
One of the things that I learned, and I did put a couple of LinkedIn posts out there over the last couple of days, and I won't use her name, but somebody that I know for a number of years is extremely successful. She always said, and I've started to adopt this because it does work, find a small group of people that you can manage, let's say 5, 10, 15 potential prospects. That didn't sound right. Potential prospects, prospects of people that you want to target.
Yeah.
And if you can find their email address, LinkedIn profile typically gives email addresses. And when you target, let's say Chuck, I'm not saying do this to Chuck, but I'm saying as the example, find the email for Chuck and send him on week one an article that might be of interest to him. Your subject line is thought this might be of interest. Attach the article and hit send. Make sure your contact info is in there and hit send. 2 weeks later, send them another article. 2 weeks later, if there's some conference that may be of interest, thought you might like this, give them the URL so we can go pull up the site and look at the conference. A book, a trend in the industry, something that Chuck would like. Every 2 weeks, drip on that, drip on Chuck. 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Don't stop.
Yeah.
Because at some point, Chuck will start to appreciate that you're providing valuable information and no sales pitch and not asking for anything in return. So when Chuck needs what you do, because your contact info is on the bottom, you're top of mind.
Yeah. That's a
And
key
that,
word too, right? Is you're not selling to people. You don't want to sell because they can sniff
no,
it right out as soon as they open the email, you know?
right? People are smarter and smarter for the robocalls, for the spam emails. They're getting smarter and smarter. But if
Yeah.
you just provide information that's valuable, and if you do this to 10, 15, 20 people, however your schedule allows, yes, it's going to take a little bit of time. But if you only get one person who likes you and gives you a shot, and you do then a good job with the service or product you provide, they're going to recommend you, and now your business takes off. So
Yeah.
it does take time, but that's why, let me go back to what I said in the beginning. Keep your full time job, your full time business, whatever you have full time, and do this part-time. So you still have an income coming in. You may still get the medical side of if you have a job or something else. So you have benefits. So you're not losing anything. You're not walking away, but you now have the time to build. So what if you did this one on Monday every week for 2 weeks? Now you have 10 people. In week three, you
Mhm.
start the cycle again with those same 10 people. You have 10
Right.
people. What if you did two a night for the 2 weeks? Now you have two times a night for 10 days. You got 20 people. Week three, you start the same 20 people again, and you keep rotating through, if that makes sense. So in 15 minutes each night, you're sending out two emails. You have 20 potentials in the process in the pipeline. But again, research first. You want to get to people fairly high up, if not at the top of a company.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're trying to do, could be the HR manager, could
And
be the
depending on your industry
CEO.
too, you reach out to as well.
Right.
Yeah. So
In your industry, look,
industry.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And again, in an industry, they may be called different things, but find that one or two in a company, go multiple companies. And it may be, depending on what you're trying to do, a very large company could be a challenge to get into because how do you differentiate yourself into a large company that already has many, many vendors they're using? So you may
Yeah.
want to consider a medium-sized company that could use your value. And again, research the company, what works, what's not working, if they file an annual report, because they have to say what's working and what's not, do all that type of stuff. Cash is great, but over the 2, 3, 4 years, whatever that time frame is that the IRS allows, use it wisely. If you want to take the business deductions for it, use it wisely. Because if not, at the end of those 2, 3, 4 years, they're going to come to you and say, "Hey, Chuck, you're a great guy. I've given you all the tax deductions, maybe the refunds every year. But you know what? Now you're on your own. Now you owe
Yeah.
me
Right.
money." And Chuck sits there
Hey,
and goes, "Holy, okay, holy S, okay, holy crap."
that's when
Um,
you go, oh no.
oh no, Mr. Bill, oh no. So that, so at that point, you have to make a decision. If you love what you're doing, and the goal is if that amount of time you do you continue to do it, not get the deductions and have to pay tax? Or do you say, you know what, I'm done. I got to find another business. Everybody's different. There is no right or wrong. It took me a couple of years in my current business to get started because I was learning. And that was okay. But it took me a couple of years and I turned it around. And that's where I am
Right.
today. So I'm okay. But what if you can't get to that point? Again, cash or a nice to have.
Right. Yeah. So Maryland is 3 out of 5 years.
Oh, it is. Okay. Oh, you looked it up. Okay. I don't
Yeah. I was
know.
just looking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
So,
sure what it is in New York, but that's Maryland.
right.
What about the IRS? Because Maryland's state-wise. What about the,
Yeah.
the IRS? That's overall, that's Fed. So, I don't know what the answer is. It's somewhere 3, 4 years, something like that.
New
Um,
York is the same, 3 out of 5. The IRS generally business return on profit in 3 out of 5 years.
okay.
Yeah. It's the
So
same.
yeah, oh,
Yeah.
it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So three out
So
of
yeah.
five years.
Yeah.
So but if you do it right, and I'm a firm believer, if you have a passion for something, follow the dream. It's
Yeah.
your dream. No matter how many people who say, no, you're doing the wrong thing, you'll never make it, why are you
Yeah.
wasting your time? Basically, very nicely say to them, my dream.
And I don't care whether it's 3 to 5 years, I'm not successful, I'm still a hobby. I'm going to keep going, right? I'm not
Right,
going to stop just because the IRS won't look at me as a business.
right.
So I'll just keep my hobby and keep going until it does come back around
Yep,
to a business
yep,
again. That's what I want to talk about
yeah,
was, when I get to that point, where I have to be concerned about I'm not turning a profit in 3 years, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, just throw the towel in
Mhm.
and be done. No,
Yep.
I'm going to keep going. Just won't have that tax write off to save, to have
Right.
say my
Right.
expenses. I just have to keep going. I just have to figure out what the IRS is going to allow me to, to write off and how to run through do my business or my hobby going forward,
Right.
Yeah,
Because if you do stop and don't pursue your passion and your dream, the worst thing that can happen is you're going to regret your decision to stop.
yeah,
And regret is a real tough thing to swallow because there's
yeah,
always
yeah.
in the back of your mind, it's always going to be, what
What
if
if?
I kept going?
Yeah,
What
the what
could
if.
have happened? What if I stayed an extra day, a week? I'm
Yep.
sure everybody's heard those stories, and I don't know if they're real or not, but there's all kinds of stories where there's a guy in a gold mine and he's got the axe and he's picking away at the wall of dirt and he gives up after months. He gives up because he hasn't hit gold yet. He
Yeah.
goes away, a new guy comes in. The next day he hits and he takes that last little inch of dirt away, and there's a whole gold mine right behind it, a gold vein right behind it. Gave up. Don't give up on your dreams. Nobody knows what you do. Nobody cares like you do. Don't give it up. If you're passionate about something, pursue
Yeah.
it.
There's a book about that. It's called 3 Feet from Gold. I actually have it.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually really good, and I
So it
highly
is true.
recommend
Okay.
people
I,
read it.
I just thought it was a
Yeah.
story, but it is true. Okay.
No, it's definitely true. Yeah, it's definitely a book
Okay.
that a guy wrote, and it's really, really good. And
Hmm.
again, he's got the axe pick, stuck in there, and the
Yeah.
gold's right there. And he just because he gave up,
Right. Right.
So yeah,
Yeah. You never know. You never know. Could it be a dead end? Maybe. But what if it's not?
right,
What if it really is the thing you were looking for, that's striving for years, your vision?
right. Yeah,
Yeah, don't
yeah,
don't give up. Keep going. Keep
yeah.
going. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I talk about this with everybody I reach out to with concerning what I'm doing in my business, and I'm always
Mhm.
telling people that I'm not actively putting money into advertising as I could be much bigger than I am. I want this to organically grow right now because I want people to really see what this show is about, see what my business really does for businesses. That way you don't see it from an advertiser thing, oh, he's just putting money into ads, trying to get his viewers up, get his listens up, on his YouTube channel. I want people to understand that I want to do this the right way, not just funnel a bunch of money into ads and hope that 25,000 people see it and just click on it just like click on it. I'm looking for that true business who cares about their reviews, cares about their business, cares about what they're doing and wants to know how I can help their business.
There's multiple ways to do anything. Like anything we do, there's multiple ways.
Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong. It's what works for you.
Yeah.
In your case, that's what you're doing. You're building it organically. You're bringing it on a person, two people at a time, and you're
Yeah.
building a solid base, which is really cool. Um, I'm going out to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I post every day. On Sundays, I post a video. I put it on YouTube. So I'm trying to get the mass market, which is a little different than what you're doing, but it's what's right for the person.
Yeah.
I don't have the skill set you do to film, edit the film, do whatever magic you do. I have no clue. That's
Which
the
is
extent of my
hours and
skill, right? It's
hours
called
and
magic.
hours.
Hours and hours. I don't have the skill set to do that, so I'm going the other route. And I give you a lot
Yeah.
of credit because I don't know anything about what you're doing. Quite frankly,
I had to
yeah,
learn
you
really
you
quick when
can
I
you can
first
be the
started
expert. I'm
this.
okay with that.
And
Um,
I had to learn really quick when I first started this. Like, I got to figure this out. And I
oh, I'm
did.
sure, but you did. I no, you can be the expert. Okay, but
So I can keep that, right?
yeah, you're much better than I am. Much better. But do what's right for you. Again, it's your business, your dream, your vision, whatever you want to call it. Stay with it. Don't give it up because somebody else says to you, you know what, Chuck? No, it'll never work. You're going to fail, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
They don't have the drive. They don't have the vision. And in a lot of cases, people who say to you, Chuck, you'll never make it, they're telling that to you because they haven't made it. They've given up on their life. They're accepting what is without looking for what could be. So if
Right.
they're not happy, they don't want you to be happy.
Yeah.
So to all those people that say to you it'll never work, the best thing you can do, never respond. Take action and
Yeah.
be successful and prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Don't get into screaming matches. Don't burn
Yeah.
bridges. Just have a great day, move on, and
Yeah.
bust it loose and become a success. Then go back and say, hey, remember me?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the best way to combat somebody who keeps putting you down.
Yeah. I think what's helped me with this so far is I focused on impressing myself because I took the hits. I took
Mm.
the criticism from people, and people are saying things to me, blah, blah, blah. But I proved to myself that while listening to the negativity, listening to the positive reinforcement, listening to the things that people suggested that I do and fix and work on, I've impressed myself and I'm proud of myself that I am where I am with my business just because of not giving up and really pushing through and doing what I want to do with this business. I've got my business model, got my niche. I know where I'm at. I know what I want. Now I'm focusing on building that library and in building my followers and my listeners one day at a time, you know?
Yep,
So,
yep, one day at a
yeah,
time. Hey,
yeah.
when I
I'm
left
stuck in the
corporate,
middle, right? I'm stuck in the middle, right? I don't have cash flow or I don't have clout. So I am working on the clout and hoping the cash flow will follow, you know? So I ain't afraid to admit it. I'm in the middle, looking at both funnels, say, come in, you know?
but you're not going to go from 0 to 60 overnight. It
Right.
takes the time. And the
Yeah.
key is, can you stay with it? And I'm
And the
still, I'm
IRS
talking
doesn't
general.
care about your time.
No, they don't. They don't.
They do not.
But can you stay with it? When
Yeah.
I left corporate in 2012, 32 years, and I've said this many times, I used 2012 to figure out what I wanted to do. And in January of 13, I opened up the business, not ever having owned a business before. And I didn't know what it took. That's one of the reasons why it did fail.
Yeah.
But I learned. It was a painful lesson, but I learned into business for yourself.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so did I ask you for money? No. Did I ask you for advice? No. Did I ask your opinion? No. So it's my decision to do what I did. I didn't make it. I learned the hard way after it failed, and I turned around, opened a second business, which is a success because like you, I learned the hard way. Now, I'm not suggesting you go the route I did because it's painful for a lot of reasons.
Super
But
painful,
but
right?
the point though was, yeah, but the point was never give up. When I finally got out of corporate, I realized the benefits to me, and I can't speak to everybody, the
Right.
benefits to me of owning a business as opposed to being an employee.
Yeah.
And when I did that, I realized I'm going to do whatever it takes. So the first one failed. I waited a couple of years. I opened the second one, and that's a success.
Yeah.
So the point of that is don't give up. So I'm living what I'm telling you is go for your dream. If you don't
Yeah.
go for your dream, you will get and you will accept whatever life throws at you, which may not be what you want, but you're giving in to whatever you're getting. And that's
Yeah.
not a good thing. It's not a good
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So,
keep going.
so the last
Keep
question
going.
here, right, is cash flow or cloud? Which one is it for you guys? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear what you struggle with, what your business
Mhm.
is, or if
Yeah.
you have a business idea, what you want to work on. And there's
Mhm.
no shame in saying whatever it is, and people are going to steal it or whatever. Just, if you have an idea, throw it out there. You never know what can come of it, So, yeah.
Right. And
Yep.
and if you want an independent view from Chuck or I, if you just want to talk, get your ideas out, what do you think? Give us a call. Chuck is 410-935-6132. And I forgot to put my phone number up there. So I'll tell
Yeah,
you
I've
my
been
phone
sending you
number.
messages. I've been
Oh,
trying to contact you, say, put your number in there.
okay. So my
I'll show
number
you how to,
is,
you'll learn how to find it.
uh,
But hey, it's
yeah.
516-727-2294. Reach
Oh,
out to Steve, man.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, reach out to Chuck. We both have
Yeah.
experience. We're more than willing to talk, to listen, to give you some
Yeah.
of our own experiences.
Yep.
There's no cost to calling us and having a conversation. So, if you want that, what do you think? What have you done in this situation? Let us know. We'll help you. Again, this is
Yeah.
for us to help you any way we can. There's no
Yep.
charge to this. We're not sponsored by anybody. We're not beholden to anybody. So we'll help you.
Yeah. And if you have ideas for our show, reach out. Let us know. You want to join us? Come on and talk. You got a topic you want to discuss? Let us know. Reach out to me at qacteam.com or send me an email, Chuck at qacteam.com or Steve at stevekentfs.com, right?
Perfect. You got it. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
You
See,
got
you remember? See?
it. 80
My
episodes
brain is
later.
working.
Okay.
Steve, thanks again, man. Another great episode. Here we are, just chugging along another
Yep.
episode, man. I love it. You know,
Yep.
it's a special weekend, I hear, for some people who are
Right.
special people.
Yep.
I have some, other plans for the after the weekend. This show is going to be about this weekend. So if anybody
Oh,
has any
nice.
interest, I'll put the link. I should put the link in the comments here on this episode since I'm talking about it. It'll give you a little bit of sneak peek into what this episode is going to be about to the
Mm,
show. So
nice.
I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah, this is going to be a really cool
Good.
one. I always get
Good stuff.
creative with this, and I always get these cool ideas of what I want to do for a show. And every time I mention it, to my daughter, my youngest daughter Gabby, he's like, "Oh, Dad, that's a great idea," and I'm like,
Nice.
"Thanks." Yeah. So yeah, so I always get these great ideas, So I'm
Mhm.
excited. Yeah.
Good.
So
Good.
yeah.
Good
All
stuff.
right. So in closing here, on this Friday at 4, because
It's 4 o'clock somewhere.
4 o'clock somewhere. Steve, have a great weekend. If you have
You
plans
too.
this weekend, be warm, stay safe.
You too.
Um, yep, we will chat soon. And everybody have a great weekend. Have a great
You
night.
got it.
If you're celebrating Valentine's Day, like I said, be safe, be warm, have fun out there, enjoy.
Yep. Yep. You got it. Thanks, Chuck.
Yeah,
Thanks, everyone. Have a
you
great
got it.
weekend.
Take care, everyone.
Take
See you,
care.
Steve. We'll talk soon, buddy.
You got
Take care.
it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been watching the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent. Thanks for watching.